In my previous video, I set about creating a permanent font in the teletype terminal, the OG terminal, the terminal that boots up just after the Linux kernel. Okay, and I got a comment, an interesting comment, a bit of a puzzle really, and I thought I would see what I could do to try and fix this little puzzle. Anyway, let's just actually have a look at what this comment said. So let's have a look at the screen. And it's from DIPI71. I know you're a regular on this channel. Thank you very much. You do comment, and I do see you about. So thanks again. And DIPI71 says, I wonder how I can get a true white on black console, not that dreary grey on black which has been default for Linux and DOS from the beginning. Well, it's funny you mention that, because I never actually think about the dreary grey on black, although I can see what you mean. Now, I did respond and I said, well, I had a little search and I came up with this article here, which we can look at. So what does the internet say? How can you get white on black in the teletype terminal? Should be easy, right? It's just a colour. It should be easy. So let's have a look. So we have an Ubuntu article, well, an Ubuntu forum post or question. It's interesting, they're sort of saying about TTY and then, oh, no, so not talking about Xterm, okay, whatever. Now, one of the suggestions is this, which is interesting. So check if the terminal is running is Linux, then if it is, echo out this. It looks like hexadecimal, I'm not sure. Clear for background artifacting, close the if statement. Okay, and then I guess you can set whatever color. Okay, that's not too bad. So that's quite interesting. Then there's somebody going on like KDB, whatever. Okay. Now, I'm trying to remember, I think I tried this, didn't quite work, but we will take something. So you set this in your bashrc. What else? What else is there? So again, there's a similar one here. And there's another one. So setterm is a program which allows you to, in theory, set colors in your terminal. Tried this, did not quite work as I hoped. And then, yeah, the same one. Okay. And then again, there's like using printf. Okay. So it got me thinking as well. I tried a few of these, didn't quite get what I wanted. So it got me thinking, well, I've set color in my program, which is TTYSH, for like warnings. So I have this here, you might be able to see it. So warn color, okay, it's a variable that I call just to ask, have you run sudo permissions, or if you've got the AC power. This is like for updates or for something else. So if we go to the top, you can see here I've got the variable, and it uses something called, well, it's the octal, okay? And the reason it's the octal and not hexadecimal is because most teletype terminals are actually only 8 colors. I think you can set it as 16. I don't really care about these things. I don't know, some people do, but I use the octal, okay? And with the octal, if you might have noticed, so if I go back on that, I'm using printf, okay? So what are we going to do? So if I'm in here now, interesting, you can see my prompt is white on black, exactly what we were talking about. Now if I do ls, you can see that there's the grey, so that was the original, the OG color, the grey on black. I never really bothered me, but it's fine. So how did I do this? Now it's not perfect. Maybe we can have some suggestions from the viewers. You can leave your comments in the comment section. What am I talking about? Anyway, so how did I do this? Now I will say there is a few things you have to consider. When we do something like ls, for example, ls sets its own colors, okay? And when ls sets its own colors, it actually clears the color rules, let's say, if you set the color. I hope that makes sense. So same with htop. Htop sets its own colors. As you see, it's got green, cyan, or blue, and whatever, red and purple. And if I hit Q, it has gone back to my white prompt, and as you see, it types white. Lovely. It's actually really nice, and it's really growing on me. Maybe I'll keep this permanent. But there are some problems. We will go into them. So how did I do it? How did I do it? So let's go into the bashrc. Okay. So what we did here, so I'll come back to this in a second. So what I did here, I created a function. Okay, see that? White's term, right? So white term is a function I created. You can see the function rules there, the syntax. And then inside that function, I put the if statement. If terminal or $term equals Linux, which it will, then we run printf and we run this escape code here. Well, octal code here. So I've got \n for new line because printf doesn't give you a new line, whatever. And then I've got 033 bracket 37. I'll put this actually in the description for you, whatever. And then 1m after the semicolon, sorry, and there's a close quotation. Then fi to close the if statement and the bracket to close the function, okay? So what happens is bashrc runs when your terminal runs, okay? Bashrc is loaded in user space and loads in your terminal, okay? So what's happening here, bashrc is running. I'm just explaining this for people who aren't aware. Now obviously it's doing its own stuff here, if not whatever. And then it's running all these aliases. Then I've got my stuff here, so it won't run this function until I call it. So I call the function, okay? I've called white term, which is this. It runs this if statement, then prints that, which is white, okay, in the terminal. Now this is where we have some of the problems, okay? So if we look up here, these are like the bashrc defaults that it comes with. So it runs an alias. So when you type ls, you're not actually typing ls. You're typing ls with some color selections, okay? So it prints colors, and same with grep. Grep will print colors like red, highlight, whatever. And there's like your ps1 is like your prompt, okay? So what I've done is I've commented out the alias for ls. I've commented out the alias for grep, okay? So with the alias, what I've done is I've changed ls to ls auto, and if successful, run the function white term. Why have I done that? Because ls resets the colors in your terminal, so it will go back to grey. So if it's successful, what it should be, run white term. So it resets the colors back again to white, okay? And I've done the same for grep. And htop will again reset your colors. So now there's going to be problems ahead. If you're running, so like Vim, for example, Vim will reset your colors. And the problem, I haven't really looked into this enough. I will look into it more. If you run, say, something with an argument, so Vim, say I run Vim with bashrc to load, it's got to, when I do the alias, it's got to take in, I can't just alias Vim. Or seemingly I can't, okay? Does this make sense? So if I alias Vim as Vim and nothing and white term, it's not gonna understand because I'm running Vim with like a argument. So I'm running it opening a file. So Vim is not, you can't really alias Vim in that way without putting in the argument. I think that's right. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it. I mean, people do alias Vim, but whatever. It's just Vim itself. If I Vim, maybe I need to change it to, I don't know, V. Maybe that will work. I don't know. But do I put like I can't remember. Oh, do I do? What is it? Does that load all arguments? I don't know. And then I can basically it breaks if I don't have the right number of arguments because I'm loading vim.bashrc, which is not vim is not equals just to vim. It's equal to whatever I'm loading. Does that make sense? So, if I run htop, I'm just running htop necessarily. There's no arguments. Now, of course, if you run ls with other arguments, that's going to break it as well. But basically, it's a problem. Okay, so I could fix it myself. I'll look into it some more. I'm rambling now, but there you go. That's how you can set white in your terminal. Not the perfect solution, maybe, but some solution. I did notice in your next comments you're talking about setting, system, kernel modules, and that would be interesting. So you can look into that. But I thought I'd just share my little findings there. So I can put, I could put my bashrc in the description if that helps. I don't know. I don't know how that will come out. Do as you please. Please put in the comments what you find or whatever. Anyway, so DIPI 7.1, and you seem to be quite an experienced developer type person. You know your stuff. But if I've helped you anyway, that would be great. And anybody else who wants to do that, I might keep that myself. I do like the white on the black background rather than the grey maybe. Anyway, you know what to do with the fake YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll leave it there for today.